Today on Mr. Media, I'll talk to character actor Larry Hankin, whose latest film appearance is in the indie release Buzzkill. Stick around. If you watch much TV or many movies, you'll instantly recognize Larry Hankin. He's that guy. Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of anonymous character actors who just once like to be recognized as that guy in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. I suspect that when Larry Hankin is out in public, he gets a lot of funny looks, double takes, triple takes, because he is that guy. That actor you've seen 100 times on TV shows and in films, but you honestly don't know his name. And unlike a guy like me, who has a face for radio, there is no doubt that Larry Hankin has a mug for the screen, with his trademark disheveled appearance and deadpan effect. Now, where do you know him from? He plays homeless quite a bit. In episodes of ER, he literally played a character known as Bearded Homeless Guy. Although now that I think about it, that could be either of us. He's also been in Breaking Bad, and CSI, the Sarah Silverman Program, My Name is Earl, and on Friends, he had the recurring role of Weird Mr. Heckles, and the weird is officially capitalized.
Mr. Heckles.
Mr. Heckles.
How dare you?
Oh my God, oh, here we go. I'm so sorry. I'll get it right next time. His TV career goes all the way back to That Girl with Marlo Thomas. He's also had... No? Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Didn't want to get too wrong in one introduction.
Oh, it's fine.
He's also had plenty of movie work, including Pretty Woman and Escape from Alcatraz. Now, genre fans will know Hankin from his appearances on Star Trek Voyager, Lois and Clark, and the Alec Baldwin film, The Shadow. That's a big one in my house. Now, even more interesting is the work for which he is not known. He was actually Larry David's first choice for the role of Kramer on Seinfeld. He didn't get it, of course, but in the show's 4th season, he played an actor playing Kramer in a pilot based on Jerry's life. Seinfeld fans get that. If you didn't watch Seinfeld, that sentence made absolutely no sense at all.
Don't even pay attention to them if they don't get that one.
There you go. Now, Hankin's latest effort is as a landlord in the new indie film Buzzkill, which stars Daniel Raymond, Breaking Bad actress Kristen Ritter, and SNL star Daryl Hammond. Buzzkill was just released on DVD. And Larry Hankin, welcome to Mr. Media.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you, sir. And hey, you really are that guy.
I actually am that guy, and I get that a lot. So you're quite accurate in the whole thing. The amazing thing is I'm writing a screenplay now for myself, which hopefully we'll shoot this year. And I just used that phrase, "You're that guy," one of the characters. That's why I was laughing, because I just typed it out last night. So you quoted from my script without even knowing it. But yeah, that phrase is a familiar one.
It's funny because in working up the introduction for today's show, I was planning to say that guy several times, and then imagine my surprise when I read through your IMDb listing and saw you were on That Girl. I mean,
yeah. Well, it was inevitable. It just took a while to get there, but yeah.
So you are that guy who gets those puzzled looks. People look at you and go, "I know that. I've seen that guy," or they hear that voice, and it's just as memorable.
Yeah, it's amazing. You see this little light go on in their eyes about a half a block away, or a quarter of a block away, or 10 feet away. You just, all of a sudden they go, it's, and then you go, he's going to come over to me, and then he's going to ask me for my resume because he doesn't know who I am. So it's just automatic. And then they have no idea that they knew, I knew that it was coming. They don't, how do you figure out that? I was going to come over here. But you know, it's nice because the perk is that you're kind of known wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, you're not kind of known. You're known. It's just the way you're known. I mean, they don't come up to me and say, "Wow, man, Brad Pitt." They don't say that.
I don't get that either. Yeah.
Yeah. But, sometimes they say, "I know you," and I go, "Yeah. Where do you know me from?" And they go, "Are you married to my sister's husband? You're the." You know, they know I'm familiar, and they've seen me in their house, so you know. So it's an interesting adjustment that not many people are privy to. You know, that kind of you're that guy.
Now, did it ever bother you to be that guy as opposed to, you know, some other recognition?
No, not really. I mean, the biggest perk is you always have a friend wherever you go. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, I can go to Europe, and I have a friend there. You know, I don't know who he is. But but I have a friend, or her. So that's the big thing. I'm just trying to think if it's ever bothered me. I think in the beginning, yeah, because I wanted them to know what my name was. So sometimes, when I was younger, I would confront them. Yeah, but who am I? But no, it's good. It's a basic good. You want that to happen.
I saw. Earlier this morning, I saw a video you made for a site called Magic Hugs.
Where yeah. Which one? I made a couple of them.
This was the guy. You cross a bridge. I guess it's.
Oh, that.
It's just like wow.
You're the guy that they based that on. You're the guy. You're that guy who stole. Well, that's how they came up to me. They were students at the time. They live here now. They're professionals, but they were students from Illinois College, and they. Called me and said that they were in Illinois and coming to LA, and they wanted to film me eating raisins. They were big fans of the show, and they had written a little sketch for me and they showed up at my door. 3 days later, they had driven out from Illinois, and we went around the corner. I live near the Venice canals here in Venice, and we shot that on the Venice canals, and yeah, it was really great. They're really good. I thought it was very funny.
It was funny, and they captured a lot of those iconic elements that people recognize you for, being the scary guy, the guy, you know.
Yeah, they put a lot of it together, you know, and then of course the fact that I was spitting raisins at him was like a topper.
So now I know it was raisins. I thought maybe it was pumpkin seeds or something. I wasn't positive.
I stole, or that I was spitting at him?
That you were spitting, yes.
Oh, it's real raisins.
I missed that detail at the beginning, I'm afraid. And then once the spitting started, I just was like...
You just go with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know. So, you know, I looked and I see that, I mean, you've had this very, very long career. It looks like you've worked steadily. I don't know, you know, you never know how literally you can take an IMDb listing anymore, but it looks like you've worked very steadily. I wondered, you know, has there been a casting agent, a casting director, or a director, or an actor, someone who's brought you along in a lot of things, or someone that's been, you know, particularly important?
No, I had an agent, not anymore. I'm looking for another one. I kind of retired for a little while, and I didn't want anybody to, because agents, they just want you to work. I mean, they need the income. You know, they've got way bigger overheads than me. So they want you to work, and sometimes I want to write or I want to do something else besides act and memorize. So I kind of dropped out for about 2 years. And in that 2 years, I wrote the screenplay, and now it's going to be produced. So I just don't have time to work anymore. Working as an actor gets in the way. So the question you asked was I had an agent, and he got me all those jobs, and I worked pretty steadily, and that's really a good thing. But it's not as steady as the IMDb list. The IMDb list is just a big, long list, and I'm even amazed at it. But, you know, you work, like, say, in Buzzkill. I worked for I don't know, two days maybe three. I can't remember.
Hmm.
But I did it like over a year ago, and that salary had to carry me for maybe a month or two when I didn't work. Well, I was looking for work. You know, actors are in and out. So you don't know. I don't know how I work every year. Maybe I work every month or other month, but it's all broken up. And sometimes I don't make for 3 months, and then I'll work for a month. You know, it's very unstable. So when you do work, it's rewarding, but it's got to take you for a while. It's got to take you over a long haul. That one job.
I completely empathize with that. I make my living actually writing books, and you know sometimes that one book has to cover you for an entire year, whether it
Right.
will or not. Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's that lag too between a book and also a film or a TV show because you'll do it like you did it a year ago, and then it finally comes out. You know, you're not you can't put that in the bank.
Right, and then it's gone from your kind of because you're doing something now, so it's very hard to keep track of it all. I don't remember if I did that one first or before or second or a year ago or 10 years ago. People see me on TV last night on something I did like 20 years ago. You know, and they go, "I saw you last night," and I go, "All right, what? You know, what?" And they go, "Oh, whatever. You know, that girl." Last night. So wow. So basically, people like me and stars are people that we're on television all the time, somewhere on Earth.
Hmm.
You know, whether it's YouTube or in Yugoslavia. So that's mind-boggling. That fact.
Now, I want to ask you about Buzzkill in a second, but I'm just
Yeah.
curious. I mean, tell us a little about because we all know you as that guy, but tell us a little about yourself. Are you married? Are you single? Or do you have kids? Do you? I mean, what do you do when you're not on screen?
Yeah, that's the interesting part because I've done it for so long, being acting, that basically any part is divided up into memorized lines. Get up at 5:30. Hope you don't forget your lines. Dress in a weird costume and have people doing this to you, you know, and then you say your lines and you go home. So it doesn't matter whether it's a tent pole, you know, $100 million movie, or it's something you're shooting for Magic Hugs, which is free around the corner. It starts to blur. It's all the same. Oh, it's a camera. It's a guy telling me to stand over there and say it now. So my life off of that is I write a lot. I write my own. I'm a filmmaker. That's what I am. To you, I'm an actor
Hmm.
or that guy, but to me, I'm a filmmaker. I make my own little films. I put them up on YouTube. There's hundreds of them. Larry Hankin. Just go to either Larry Hankin on YouTube, and they did about 26 or 27. Some are minutes, some are 30 seconds, some are 20 minutes, some are 10 minutes. So the movie that I'm making now, which is all this writing, what that writing does is it got me a feature. I wrote a feature, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to be doing now in my spare time. And in the meantime, I live in Venice, and I ride my bike on the beach here. There's a bike path here. And I hang out in Abbott's Habit coffee shop, you know, which is really cool, retro 60s hangout. You know, I see friends and, you know, just doodle around.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I'll see
Oh,
friends.
all right.
When I'm single, yeah, you want to know that.
Oh, just if you want to get the word out that you're single, that you be my guest.
So yeah, you know, so that's guy. Other than that, I go shopping and do clothes, and I'm just like any other guy as opposed to that guy.
Hmm. Very good. All right. So I asked you that, and now let me ask you about Buzzkill. You had told me off air that you wanted to talk about this movie because you're pretty pleased with the way it turned out.
Um, yeah, you know, because you never know. You know, you just never know. And you never know how it's going to turn out. Not even if it's going to be good or bad, but you don't know what's in the director's head, really. I've tried. You know, you're on set. You're saying the words. You're there. You've read the script, and you still, when the movie comes out, you're blown away. So that one, yes, because of my part, mainly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the premise was ridiculous in the best sense, and it's a good movie, and it's funny, and Daniel is really good. Daniel is really good, but I just loved my part. I mean, sometimes you just do it for the money. You do it because you haven't worked a while, or you do it because you want to work with that guy, that other guy.
The other guy.
The other guy, you want to work with that guy. But this one, I loved the part. It was a good, the crazy landlord. And the way that Stephen Campman directed it, the way he had me do it, the way it was set up, the look, was just perfect. I mean, that's the kind of guy I want to do a series with that guy.
Yeah.
He's really cool. Yeah, he's just the world's worst landlord.
It sounds like it's just made for Funny or Die, or in some kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was made for me.
Yeah, well,
there's a few parts where you go, "Wow, man, that's me. I can do that. I was born to do that part." I mean, it's not a big part, folks. It's just small. It's a little cameo. But I like it, and they said that during the screening, I haven't seen it. I've seen a DVD of it, but I haven't seen a screening of it. And they say it goes over my part. It gets a good reaction, they say. So that's kind of good too. That's nice.
Well, it was interesting, looking over the information that was sent to me, in terms of, who do you want to talk to from the film. I saw your name and I thought, okay, I got to go look up this guy, and it's like, oh, of course, I'd love to talk to him. And then Kristen Ritter in the movie was from. I don't even know if you had any scenes with her, but she was very striking in Breaking Bad first season, and which leads me to my next question. You did a Breaking Bad, as I understand.
Oh yeah, that was my. That was great. Breaking Bad, because I'm a big fan of Breaking. Before I even got the part or knew there was a part, I would watch that religiously. So that to me, because besides being an actor and besides being that guy and besides just being some normal guy, I'm also a fan, just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. Of other things. And when I'm a fan of something, then I'm not an actor. When I watch Breaking Bad, I'm just some guy in a living room. I don't think I'm in show business. I'm an actor. I'd like to be on that, although that goes through my mind. So I'm removed. And when I got the call for that to be on it, mm-hmm. It would be like you getting a call to be on it. It's I don't make that association. I'm such a fan. I'm just looking at it like other people, look at Friends or Seinfeld and say, "Wow, man, that's really cool." And then they go, "I'm going to be on it." I couldn't sleep. So that was the big thing for me, just knowing that they wanted me on something that I had no concept of. How could I be on it? So that was really a trip. And then they flew me out to, where did they shoot it in New Mexico?
Albuquerque, right?
Albuquerque. So that was kind of nice. I, got out of town, saw Albuquerque. That was kind of nice. And they're really cool people who do that show. They're really good. Now, Bryan Cranston is cool.
Now, I have seen every episode of Breaking Bad, but I cannot place you in it. Can you help me with that?
Okay. I was the guy who destroyed the Winnebago. I crushed the Winnebago.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, see, there you go. That's a good association. It's not me that's famous. It's the Winnebago.
It's the Winnebago. There you go again.
I destroyed the Winnebago. That will go down.
Which was amazing in of itself, because you thought that Winnebago would survive. I mean, it seemed to be, when the series started, it seemed to be what the series was about. Besides, Bryan Cranston taking his clothes off.
Yeah, yeah, but it was like the MacGuffin. It was like, it was so sacred and so iconic.
Like a character.
It was a character. It was. So, and you figured, well, it won't be destroyed because they can trace things to it. So that was. Now, the interesting thing there was that we were out in this junkyard in the middle of the desert, mm-hmm. The funky old junkyard, and I was supposed to. I had three things about that. One is, it was a very short but sweet, important part. And I like to do it because I hate memorizing lines. I hate it. I got to stay up the whole night. Memorizing is anything. So, but I did it because it was very short. So no bother. I did it. Got there. Yeah, they put you on camera for the director. I had an audition, and they say, you got it. I go there, and they hand me my part, and I'm looking at it, and there's this speech about this big, which wasn't there in the audition because they gave me the whole part. It was just two scenes, I think. And there's this big, long speech, and I go to the AD. I go, what's going on? Because I was going to shoot that day. I couldn't even study it at night. I'm going to shoot this whole thing in 2 hours. I run to the AD, and I go, well, what's going on, man? What's this? And they go, oh, man, they loved you so much at your audition. They wrote your part and they made it bigger. And then, no. Oh, no, that's not how that's too good. So I had to go in my dressing room, and I tried to memorize that. And I finally got it once. I got through it once. And they go, yeah, you're on. So I go out there, and I do it, and I got this long walking thing and the big long shot. They made a big production out of it. And I get there, and I go through it, and I see the script girl coming towards me. Now, the script girl is in charge of, you got to get it right. She circles every word you get wrong, and she stands near the director, and when it's over, she comes to you and she says, you left out the word "the" in the second paragraph. And you don't want to see the script, and I saw her coming towards me after the first take. And you don't want to see that, especially it's a long walk where everybody sees that, oh, he fucked up. So, and the whole speech is circled. Every other word is circled. I said, yeah, but I got the gist of it. I got the gist of it. You understand what's going on. And she says, the director wants you to say the speech as written. And I say it, my biggest, hey, I know what's going on here. I go, let me talk to the writer. And she says, the director wrote it. So I go, okay. She says, you want to take a minute? So I said, no, let's just do it. And I'm saying to myself, just fucking do it, man. You did it once in the dressing room, so it's in there. Let him fire you. I can't go through this. Taking a minute and trying to. So I just said, let's just shoot it again. Quick, let's go. And that's what she did. And the director comes up to me and stands right by me. He says, where am I out of range of the camera frame? He stood right by my ear. He says, I want to stand with Larry. And he's got the book. And this is not going well at all. And he just said, roll it. And I just did it. I mean, adrenaline and fear is solid, man. He says, moving on. Didn't even do another take. So that was the other adventure there. So it's not all peaches and cream out there.
I was going to say, I love the show. Like I said, I've watched every episode. My wife is just religious about that show. But I hadn't really, I think it's very cleverly plotted and laid out and directed. I hadn't really thought of it as like, I understand that Neil Simon and David Milch insist on actors in their productions doing exactly the words on the screen. I hadn't really thought that a show like that would have that same requirement.
Well, I think I think first of all I'm nervous because I have a tough time memorizing my lines. I mean, once I get on the set, even if she comes over to me, I get it within a take or two. So I mean, but internally, it bugs the hell out of me. So I don't want to. But it's different for each director. Some directors are very loose. Now that one I really screwed up because I only got it 2 hours before, and it literally was a page. And so that one I was under the gun there. But some directors, no, they if you get the gist of it, and you don't go too far off. I mean, literally, she had every other word. I was a little, come on, let's get it right. So, yeah, now the third thing about that show was I was supposed to actually, in reality, manually wreck that Winnebago. I mean, you know how they wreck cars? They put them in this squeezer, this thing that gets them down into a little box like this, which some artist then, makes something out of. They had me do that. That was one of the things. I didn't have to memorize any lines. I was already, practicing in the machine, crushing cars. I was practicing. But they lost the light. They were losing the light. And they couldn't take the time of bothering to do a reshoot or do it again. So they had to use a guy. So when you see on film it being crushed, that's not me in there. They were going to do a whole thing of me, and I was just so pumped to actually wreck a car, crush it, and then it was the Winnebago. So I was depressed. You see, it ain't all just that guy.
No.
It's up and down.
It's layers. It's layers.
It's layers. It's an emotional, roller coaster.
I got it. Well, I want to ask you about one more experience of yours, and I kind of tipped it off in the introduction. I got to ask you about the Seinfeld story. I mean, there's all sorts of interesting stuff connected with that show. So David really liked you for the part of Kramer to start, and probably communicated that to you, and then there probably had to come a day where someone had to come to you and say, "No, it's not going to happen." That must have been a bad.
No, it doesn't work like that at all. No, no. Most actors, you do it so you're auditioning. You are the bottom line of the job is not being a good actor. I'm going to be an actor. What do I have to do? What's the thing I should remember? Well, be a good actor. No, it's deal with rejection. Because I work a lot. And my average is, as I came up when I was doing that, it's about you get like 1 in 5 jobs. So that's pretty good. You're working all the time because you audition, a lot during the week. So you get rejected more than you get the job. So that's the job, rejection. So when somebody gets the job and you don't, even if it's a great job, hey man, However, in that particular case, when I saw the show, now here's the thing. Larry David A is a genius. I mean, he's really great. He knows what's funny. I didn't know that he requested me. I was just auditioning with everybody else. So I didn't know I was theoretically special. I was there. The weird thing was that I was the only guy who looked like Michael Richards. I was tall, I had big nose, kind of Sephardic looking. But the other people for the part were this fat guys, bald guys, short guys. I mean, there was nobody who looked even like him. So I kind of thought I would get the job. But they made me audition like 5 times. And when I finally didn't get it, it was just another job that I didn't get. So it didn't make it. But when I saw the first show, my reaction was they picked the right guy. That's not how I would have done it. I mean, I would never have come up with all those coming in the doors. That's brilliant. Michael, for all the idiocy that he has shown on stage, or actually live, he's brilliant at Kramer. That's an iconic. No fooling around. That's cool.
It's very generous of you.
I wasn't. I said, man, cool. I have gone to an audition where one time I heard the guy before me. You listen at the door to see how he's doing it. And when I went in, I said, you should hire the guy who came in before me. There's no way. I was young then. I didn't know. I'd never do that again. But so, it doesn't, we don't react that way. Or you're not going to be an actor for long. You'll get an ulcer and die of cancer of the brain. You can't do that.
No, that's not a good idea. Well, listen, we're just about to run out of time, and I want to let everybody know you can order Larry Hankin's latest film. He plays the landlord in Buzzkill. It's available,
folks.
And it's available right now on DVD in great stores everywhere, or you can order it right now at a great price at mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. And Larry mentioned that he is working on, he's sold a screenplay based on that guy, and we'll look for that. And also look for his YouTube channel, Larry Hankin, And you can see, you said
Can I say
25,
one
26.
more
Of
about
course.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's The Outlaw Emmett Demas. There's three of them on YouTube, or Google it. But The Outlaw Emmett Demas, The Outlaw Demas and the Porno Queen, and The Outlaw Demas and Willie Jones. Those are three. Look for them. Two of them are on YouTube. They're cool, and that's what the feature is about. Don Quixote on a motorcycle.
All right. And we'll have, yeah, cool. And we'll have links to those on Mr. Media so folks can just click ahead.
Oh, cool.
Do you website, Twitter, Facebook? Do you do any of that stuff?
Facebook, yeah. Mention if you're going to call me that you got through me through Bob, through his website here. Mention that, so I will answer you. And let me see, YouTube, I guess, is the only other thing you can get them to me.
Very good.
And look for The Outlaw Emmett Demas coming soon to a neighborhood movie near you.
Cool. All right, Larry Hankin, a lot of fun, a pleasure to meet you, and thanks so much for being on Mr. Media today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. For more original interviews, surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. If you've enjoyed today's show, subscribe for free to Mr. Media via email, RSS, or iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Another good idea? Download our new free Mr. Media mobile app in the Android market. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many parts of the Internet. Show your support of Mr. Media by supporting our sponsors, including Audible. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/radio. Again, that's audibletrial.com/radio for your free audiobook. We're also supported by thepartyauthority.us. Call DJ Ira for all your party entertainment needs nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs, or visit their website, thepartyauthority.us. If you've got an idea for a guest, a comment on today's show, or would like to advertise on Mr. Media Radio, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. You can also call our 24-hour listener line at 1-727-498-4711. Some messages may be used in an upcoming show. And unless you live next door to Mr. Media, there may be a toll charge. You can also follow Mr. Media on Facebook, Twitter, or our new YouTube and Vimeo video channels. Thanks so much for joining us today. I always appreciate you sharing a piece of your day with Mr. Media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, this is Bob Andelman from Mr. Media. First of all, I want to thank you for years of support listening to this show. We're starting our 6th year, it's hard to believe, our 6th year as 2012 starts, and heading towards our 1,000th online podcast, audio and video. It's pretty amazing, frankly. I remember starting it several years ago thinking this will never last. And podcasts, that's as stupid a word as blogging. But here we are, starting our 6th year and heading up to 1,000 interviews. And I want to thank everybody for listening and supporting the show. I also want to tell you that one of the things that's been very helpful for this show is Stitcher Radio. Yes, this is sort of a commercial. Now, there are millions of smartphone apps in the world, but I only use one several times a day, Stitcher Radio. I build my own radio station to listen to broadcast and online shows when I want and in the order I want. CNN News Update, Onion Radio News, WTF with Mark Maron, MSNBC's Morning Joe, Studio 60, the TechCrunch headlines, and of course, Mr. Media. It's free. It works on iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Palm Pre, and much more. And you can get it for free for yourself. Try it out. I guarantee you're going to love it. Stitcher.com/MRmedia. That's Stitcher.com/Mr. Media. You're going to love it. And thanks again for supporting the show. All right. Not hanging up on me so far, right?
So, well, I'm that guy. I'm not going to hang up.
There you go. All right.